What's up, YouTube? It's Aaron Page. I'm back with another video for you guys today. We're going to be looking at a video by a Senate named John Kennedy. He's having this very tough conversation with this LGBTQ advocate, and they're regarding trans women and women's sports and trans women in sports in general. So we're going to go ahead and check out this video. I don't want to talk about it before because I don't want to give any biased information. So let's go ahead and check out this video real quick, watch the whole thing, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, let's get into it right now.
Ms. Robinson, I want to follow up by trying to understand your answer to one of Senator Cruz's questions. And this is really a question, not a suggestion. Do I understand your position to be that there are two sexes, but there can be more than two genders?
I wouldn't even say two, and we've got Dr. Lopez here as well, but there's also the definition of intersex. I think that often in these conversations we're conflating sex and gender, and I do want to affirm here that trans women are women. That is their gender.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand, do you make a distinction between sex and gender?
Yes, sir.
Okay, explain that. Do you think there are more than two sexes?
I believe that there's a definition for intersex as well that I want to acknowledge. But sex is assigned at birth.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm thoroughly confused. So you're born, I'm talking about biology, male, female, and what else?
I believe that intersex is also acknowledged, but again, I'm not a doctor here. What I can
and
say
what does intersex mean?
Is that there's a difference between sex and gender, and I think in these conversations we're conflating the two.
Well, but I want to start with sex. Okay, there's male, there's female. When a baby's born, before the baby has had time to even have a sense of self, there's male, female, and intersex. There's a third sex.
I believe that is true, but I would defer to Dr. Lopez as I'm not a physician.
Okay. And how many genders are there?
My guy's trying to get down to it.
I think the gender is expansive, and the definitions are always growing. Today I can tell you, I talk to young people that talk about non-binary as...
More than five?
I think the gender is not a binary, is what I'm trying to say.
Are there more than five genders? I'm just trying to understand. Are there more than five genders?
Well, I mean, I think that there was a time where women wearing pants didn't feel like it was appropriate for their gender, and yet I'm wearing pants today. I think that there are ways that we express our gender that are expansive.
Are there more than five?
I wouldn't subject myself to naming how many genders there are, but what I can say is that gender is a reflection.
Number?
Excuse me?
There's an infinite number of genders?
I think depending on your culture, there are a lot of different genders that exist. And I can also say that it's a term that's evolving. If you look at young people today, they really don't lean into the binary of only woman and man. So I think that it's incumbent upon us not to legislate on this, but create space for them to explore what their identities are, what their gender identities are.
Let's get back to athletics. I think I understand what you're saying. There are three sexes.
I don't like how she just keeps going around the question. He's asking you simple questions. Just answer it to the best of your abilities. Don't be afraid of your answer. If you stand by what you stand by, don't be afraid of what your answer is.
Male, female, and intersex.
I believe that to be true, but again, I'm not a physician.
And there are an infinite number of genders because gender is a mental state.
Gender is about expression, and I think that there are a variety of ways that you can express your gender.
Okay, so there's infinite number. All right, let's go back to the biology. Male, female, boy, girl, okay? Biologically, do males have an advantage over females biologically in sports?
Again, I'm not a physician, and I can't speak to that.
What's your real-world experience?
Come on.
It depends. I mean, there are some people who are born male that I'm faster than if I were to sprint against them, and some that I'm not. Some males that are taller than some women, and some that are shorter.
You don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
Give me an example. Well, no, I don't think.
My guy don't even.
How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis, right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case. She is stronger than
James,
that.
what's your experience, Ben? Male, female?
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he
Just dropped the ball right there, man. I've been seeing her on the internet a lot lately, and she's been in these different hearings and settings, and she's been killing it, man. She just dropped the ball. She just said that Serena lost to the 203rd ranked man in tennis. Amongst all the men, he's 203rd. He's horrible, but he beat Serena, who's the best in women's. Why? Because he's faster, he's stronger, right? He has the ability to get around quicker. Come on, man. The muscle twitches are much faster in a man than it is in a female or a woman. It's biologically true. So for her to just jump around a question like that is just very frustrating, because it's like you don't want to say the bad things that's going to make your position look worse. So you try to deflect that, but then you want to come in and act like you got these facts and like you're just right there in the argument. You're losing from the start. It's crazy, bro.
he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week without trying.
Okay. I just think, Ms. Robinson, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. I think you lose a lot of credibility when you don't concede that a
100%.
biological male has physical advantages over a biological female. I mean, I just think that's a proven fact, and you really hurt your credibility. I understand you want the world to be a better place. I do too, and I don't think people ought to be discriminated against because of an immutable characteristic. I don't. And I think that I think everybody ought to be free to be themselves. And what you do in your bedroom or what I do in my bedroom with a consenting adult is nobody's business. But if what I do in my bedroom with a consenting adult, if I decide I want to tell somebody's child about it, then other people have rights too. And I think parents have rights.
Facts.
And I think biological females have rights to be able to compete fairly in sport in sports. So I really think you hurt your credibility when you refuse to acknowledge that biological males have an advantage over biological females. It kind of makes me wonder about all your testimony. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Wow.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wow.
What I'm trying to say is that there is not.
Yo. Yo. Come on, man. Tell me that was not like the best comeback right there. Tell me that was not the most professional comeback in the history of comebacks. Like, that was, bro, right there, man. I got to give it to him, man. That was the perfect ending to everything that just happened. Like, you lose credibility when you cannot say the truth because you're afraid that it's going to mess your position up. You lose credibility. People don't trust you anymore. Sheesh.
Not a definitive advantage in all cases. Sir, I don't know if you believe that you could beat Serena Williams in tennis, but I probably think that that's not the case. There are not all cases where all men are physically superior to all women. And at the end of the day, in this conversation, we're not talking about that. We're talking about trans women who are, in fact, women, who deserve to play in a gender that matches their sports, who deserve all the benefits that Ms. Gaines is talking about. And as a cisgender black woman, I can say definitively that my womanhood is not threatened by a transgender person asserting hers as well.
Senator Hirono.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank all of the persons who are testifying today. For Ms. Robinson.
Wow. Shout out to the senator right here, man, for keeping it real, being able to state his position professionally and still, like, destroy her. That was dope, man. Like, I get it. So, look, I'm not against I'm not against anybody with LGBTQ or anything like that. I believe that everyone should have the rights to live how they want to live. I'm not gonna, as long as you're an adult, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm fine with that. I have no issues with that. This is not even about like faith in God. I'm not even speaking on that matter. I'm just talking about in general. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. None of us, you ain't gonna change, as long as it doesn't affect our kids in school, and as long as it doesn't affect other people, then you can do whatever the heck you want to do. No one cares. But when you got people coming in, I mean, in every instance, when a trans woman has entered into a woman sport, they've dominated. MMA, dominated. Track and field, dominated. Swimming, dominated. Like, they dominate because they dominated because they have better genetics, because they were once men and they've been changed into a woman by surgery, right? Or whatever the case may be, hormone pills, whatever. They still have the genetic makeup of a man. And so you still are able to perform in a sense of a man. You still have the strength, the abilities. I mean, we gotta have a line somewhere. We have to draw the line somewhere. And the swimmer lady, whoever, I forgot her name, she's a beast. I've seen her on other videos. She got a good point. Like, we're gonna get our butts kicked by trans women, and we're the top tier when it comes to women. She was in an Olympics. She's the top tier, but you know what I mean? It doesn't matter when you go against a man that is in the same category. I can understand if you're just recreational, no one cares. But when you got a trained professional in a certain sport, and then you transfer and do that in a woman's sport, you're gonna dominate regardless, man. You're gonna dominate. So let me know what y'all think about the video. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you do not miss another video. And go ahead and give it a like so that YouTube can push this out to other people. Appreciate y'all watching. My name is Aaron Page. I'm out.